Welcome to Charter Local Edition. I'm Tracy Young. Our guest is Congressman Dreier, who represents the 26th District. He joins us to talk about legislation that Congress has recently passed to assist our veterans in the areas of education and housing. It's good to have you with us, sir.
Great to be with you, and congratulations on these spectacular new digs that you've got here in your new assignment.
Thank you. We're
very happy you're here.
Thank you, sir. This is a very special time, not just for Americans, but actually Veterans Day goes back to Armistice Day, which is the end of World War I. But why is this day important to you as a Congress member?
Well, I will tell you, Tracy, if you look at the month of November, there are lots of things that we do. We give thanks because of Thanksgiving, and of course it's football season. But right in the middle of the month, we have Veterans Day, and it's, I think, one of the most important things for us to do. We have an all-volunteer Army in the United States, and we have for many, many years. One of the things we want to do is encourage young people into public service. And one of the great honors that I have is nominating people to serve at the Air Force Academy, the Naval Academy, to West Point and all. And the necessity as we look at trying to encourage people to do this, it's really underscored by the fact that we need to make sure that we remember and reward our nation's veterans and do everything that we possibly can for them, because we want to encourage future generations to get into public service.
Right. I understand that you recently had the honor. It was called the Distinguished Flying Cross.
Distinguished Flying Cross.
Yes.
This amazing guy. He's nearly 90 years old, and he reminded me that I had met him years before. He was actually in the media. He was had a magazine publisher. His name was Mel Hodel, and you know, one of the things I found that's very, very interesting, Tracy, is that so many people have been involved in the Second World War, and they don't talk about their service with their families. We have this Veterans History Project, which we've talked about before. But Mr. Hodel was an example of someone who flew. He was a hump pilot during the Second World War in China and Burma, and he was deserving of the Distinguished Flying Cross. He didn't get it, and some of his friends came forward and said he should. Well, I had the privilege of bestowing the Distinguished Flying Cross on this guy. And his family, his grandson, who was serving down in San Diego in the Navy, came up for it, and other family members. And it's one of the most rewarding things that I'm able to do, is to recognize the amazing service and the sacrifice that not only the servicemen and women make, but that their families make. And I think that they need to be remembered also during this Veterans Day month.
It was a nice chance to get to do. There has been some discussion, though, particularly in the area of education, that there has been some money that Congress passed legislation that says, let's get these money to our vets, basically rewarding them for their service, and it's part of their contract, but the money has not been getting to them quickly enough. How has that been fixed?
Well, there have been some unique problems that California has. For example, with state schools, they actually don't have what's described as tuition, but they have fees.
Right.
And so under the bureaucratic maze in Washington, fees weren't able to be used, and they didn't qualify for the reimbursement. So what we've done is we've now put into place a structure which will ensure that fees are treated like tuition. So that'll be a great benefit to Californians. And then we also, again, with this whole bureaucracy when it comes to education, we want to make sure that these young men and women who are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and other parts of the world are able to get their education. We want them to be reimbursed if there is any kind of holdup at all. And so we've passed legislation, and I'm proud to say this is one of the things that we work in a bipartisan way. We always see on CNN headline news and other stations all the division that takes place in the Congress. But the fact is we have good bipartisan agreement on veterans issues, and the education issue is a key one of those.
And some legislation has passed, so we could hopefully see some changes here in the real quick near future.
Absolutely. We're committed to our veterans, and we're going to continue to do everything we can.
All right. Good to see you in the district.
Thanks, Tracy. Nice to see you.
For Charter Local Edition, I'm Tracy Young. Now back to CNN, HLN.